how to make millions on Airbnb with no properties or credit. Did you know that short-term rentals are the new biggest thing in real estate? Did you know that I make nearly 3 times on my short-term rentals, my Airbnbs, than I do with my long-term rentals? Yes, it's true. I'm going to share with you how to start this business with no money, no credit, and how I make millions on Airbnb. And more importantly, how you can do it too. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
In this video, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step process on how to go from 0 properties to an Airbnb business in a matter of months. I'm going to share with you my #1 secret to how I get luxury apartments and luxury properties for free. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you the #1 way to furnish properties without using any of your money. So let's first talk about Airbnb, because so many people do not know that Airbnb's short-term rentals are the new wave in real estate. I make more money on my Airbnbs, my short-term rentals, than I ever did on any of my long-term properties. Short-term rentals are furnished rental properties. They have all of the amenities, they have the furniture, they have the beds, they have the towels, the knives, the forks, the plates, and people rent these properties on a nightly basis. When I first started investing in real estate, I would have to rent out properties vacant and unfurnished, and I would rent them out on a monthly basis. And in fact, I only made about $300 to $400 per month per property. In fact, to quit my job and become the entrepreneur that you see today, I needed nearly 40 rental properties to cover my salary that I was making from my job. But when I found the opportunity of short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, Vacation Rental by Owner, HomeAway, TripAdvisor, Expedia, all of these sites that allowed me to put furnished properties on their sites and rent them out on a nightly basis, I was able to 10x my income. And what I really learned is I did not need 40 properties to make hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. So now that you understand the opportunity of short-term rentals, and you can see some of our short-term rentals here that we have, I have these properties in Florida, Georgia, Texas, Virginia, North Carolina, and I even have students that have properties all over the United States and internationally. This is the #1 real estate opportunity, and you don't want to miss this. So let me show you how you can get all of this without even owning any properties or using your credit. Let's get into that part. So as you may know, businesses can lease a property. And the thing that I am teaching you when I talk about starting an Airbnb business and how I make millions of dollars on Airbnb per year, I do this because I am a business. Businesses have opportunities that people don't have. If you can create a business entity, which is really easy, and again, I have an entire playlist teaching you how to start a business in less than a day and have a legal business where you can get business funding and start getting properties in your business's name. This is how you can do this. This way you are not personally attached to the lease. This way you are not personally responsible. Your business is. And it's a really easy way for companies to want to deal with you. Say, for example, you want to start investing in real estate the way that I did. I literally started with apartments, okay? I had a student who was just 18 years old. I, at the time, was making 6 figures with my rental properties, and this student told me about Airbnb. He said that we could lease properties and start renting them out on a nightly basis using sites like Airbnb, HomeAway, Vrbo, and sites like that, and I could make more than 3 times what I was making on my properties. Well, me being me, I decided to invest and try this out. It was absolutely correct. At the time, we had about 4 or 5 apartments in the Orlando area, not too far from SeaWorld, and those properties were making $1,000 to $1,500 per month in profit. That is profit. That's after the rent was paid, after all the utilities was paid. That is everything. And so I immediately realized that I was making 3 to 10 times what I was making on my other rental properties, and that I needed to start doing this more. I could make the same money with less properties, or I could make 10 times the money with the properties that I already had. Either way, it was up to me, and I love this opportunity. So the bottom line of what I'm teaching you is that you can start an Airbnb business just by starting a business. You need to make sure that you get your business registered with the Secretary of State, get your EIN, your website, little things like that. Again, in most states, you can do this in one day. And again, I have an entire playlist teaching you how to start any business in less than a day. You can do that. So start your business, and then we can move on to step 2 because it's super easy and how you can even do it without credit. So step 2, one of the biggest secrets that I have to Airbnb is, again, not having to own all the properties. Yes, I explained that I had rental properties and I converted some of those to short-term rentals into Airbnbs after learning about this opportunity. But you do not have to do that. You literally can start a business and start leasing properties in your business's name. So let me tell you how you do that without having to have a hassle. So one of the easiest things that I was doing was finding people that had property problems. People that were in bankruptcy, foreclosure, divorce, got relocated, lost their job, something like that, and they needed to move out of the property or they needed to break their lease. I was able to easily get those people to sell those properties to me, subject to, meaning I bought the property, subject to the mortgage staying in place, or I could do a lease purchase where I would lease the property, make sure it's profitable, and then I would agree to buy it after a year or 2 years for a specified amount. If I found that the property was not profitable, I could just break the lease. Easy, easy. And all I had to do then was take my furniture out and move it to the next property. So this was my big secret to how I grew my portfolio to dozens and dozens of Airbnbs, and how my students are doing the exact same thing. Again, I have an entire playlist on YouTube where I teach you exactly how to find properties easy, for free, and find these people that are having property problems, call them up, say the script, and start your own Airbnb business without having to own any of the properties. Now let me tell you how to do it using other people's money. So then last but not least, now that you have been able to get properties that are not yours, again, you're leasing or you're lease purchasing or you're subject toing a property so you don't have to own it, but now you have this great property. Most likely it has no furniture in it, it's not painted, it doesn't have the towels and the plates. So where do you get the money to furnish the property? You're looking at some B-roll of my properties here, and we furnish our properties really nicely. So let me show you how we do that. We use business credit. One of the things that I teach you that you need to get is business credit so you can start getting funding and capital in your business's name. This way you can borrow millions of dollars, at least hundreds of thousands, or even tens of thousands to put the properties together so you can start making money without having to spend your own personal savings. Additionally, without having to use your social security number and your personal credit and start borrowing money in your name in order to get these things. You do not have to do any of that. You can literally build business credit. You start a business and then you build business credit, which reports on your business credit bureau, and you can get credit cards in your business's name. You can get loans in your business's name, lines of credit, credit from furniture stores. There's lots of things that you can do that we teach you, and you can see it here where we do not use our own money or our own credit to furnish and put these properties together. We use our business credit and our business funds to do so. And it really is so simple and easy to do. Again, I have a whole playlist teaching you how to get business credit. Even if you have bad credit, I'm gonna show you a clip here because I know some of you have bad credit. You can even build business credit with bad personal credit. If you have great personal credit, it's really easy to build business credit. But either way, this is how we make millions on Airbnb without owning properties or credit. This is amazing. Wow, do you want to see me in person? Well, I have an event coming up. Go to 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗪𝗏𝑠.com and get your ticket to see me either in person or virtually from your home. I am always teaching online or in person, and you can learn even more than you ever learned here. Go to 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗪𝗏𝑠.com. Use the code YouTube to save on your ticket. That's Noelle, Noelle, Randall, Randall, events, EVENT with an S, 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 a podcast or a YouTube. Just think about it. If I'm telling you all of this for free, imagine what I would tell you if you paid just a little bit and came to class. Because I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.